Good evening. I was about to say good afternoon. I'd like to call our April 28th meeting to order. May I have roll call, please?
Yes, Mr. Cooterick.
Yes, present.
Ms. Bowles is absent, excused. Ms. Kraut.
Here.
Mr. Theed is absent, excused. Ms. Buckley is here. Ms. Funderburg.
Here.
Ms. Beard is absent, excused.
Please stand for a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Well, I'm filling in for Mrs. Beard. She is in Lansing at a conference, so the next on our agenda is the consent agenda. All matters listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine in nature by the Board of Education and will be acted upon by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items. If any member of the board or any citizen requests discussion of an item, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will become the first item of business under the report of the superintendent portion of the agenda. A, approval. To approve the minutes of the Board of Education of the regular meeting of April 14th, 2014. B, approval. To approve the personnel actions as submitted by Rebecca Peck, Director of Human Resources. Termination, Local 64, Cafeteria 1 for Romulus Community Schools, effective April 22nd, 2014. C, approval. To approve the bills for payment as submitted by Anna Bositas, Interim Director of Finance, in the amount of $496,185.50. May I have a motion, please?
Madam Chair, I make a motion we accept the consent agenda as read.
Support.
Moved by Mr. Cooterick, supported by Ms. Kraut. Are there any questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Next on our agenda is report of the superintendent. I'd like to turn it over to interim Margie McAnally, superintendent.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight, first on my agenda is our high school basketball team. We've got some people here to represent, so could we have them come forward? We'd like to make a resolution for the wonderful season that we had this year.
Yay! Did you want me to read? I'm just trying to get to.
Man, they some tall ones.
I know, right?
Got a junior, so they're not all coming senior. They're all coming back. Oh, great, we look
Yay.
next year.
So that means next year's resolution to be state champions, right?
Right?
That's right, Jalen. Jalen's my adopted son. Romulus Community Schools resolution recognizing Romulus Eagles boys varsity basketball team. Whereas the Romulus High School boys basketball team has won the basketball district and regional championships this 2014 season, and whereas participation in high school athletics helps build strong character and good sportsmanship in all our youth, and whereas the Romulus High School boys basketball team has brought great pride to Romulus School District and community. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the interim superintendent of Romulus Schools and Romulus Board of Education herewith extends congratulations and thanks to the Romulus Eagles high school basketball team and their coaches for their outstanding teamwork, sportsmanship, dedication, enthusiasm, hard work, and winning of championship titles. And this is from our interim superintendent, Margie McAnally, Teresa Beard, president, Cheryl Buckley, secretary, Tamika Bowles, trustee, Danielle Funderburg, vice president, John Thie, treasurer, Sandra Kraut, trustee, and Thomas Cooterick, trustee, signed on his 28th day of April 2014. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Hey, Coach, can you get the mic and just give their names, please.
Good job. So you get it out there.
Oh, nice
Congrats.
firm hand.
Yes.
Top button, top button, top one.
Yeah, I'm, you want me to introduce all?
Yeah,
Please.
please.
So, Jalen Walker, this is one of our juniors. He ended up making all conference for our team. He was an all-state kid.
Great.
Behind Jalen is Rio Washington. He's a junior. Just got with the team, very good kid. And then right here is Kyrie Williams, who's been above a 3.0, so academically, they've
Okay.
all been very good for us. And then this is my first year. I'm Jerry Smith, the head coach. So I appreciate everything and the support, and hopefully next year we can bring home a state championship.
All right, looking forward to it. Thank you.
Congrats again.
Okay, I was gonna say if you'd like, you could stay for the rest of the meeting, but if you know, we understand you have homework assignments, so we can keep those GPAs up to par.
You ain't gotta tell me twice.
Have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Good job.
Good job.
Way to go, Dave. Yeah.
All right, Ms. McAnally.
The next item on the agenda is.
Excuse me. We have a resolution. Can I make?
Oh, I'm sorry, we
Yeah,
do.
we do. Way to go, Sandy.
I move that
Yes.
the Board of Education adopt resolution recognizing Romulus Eagles boys varsity basketball team for district and regional championships for 2014 as presented by the Board of Education.
Support.
Moved by Ms. Kraut, supported by Ms. Kuderick. Mr. Kuderick, when did you
One of them.
change?
One of them
All
people.
in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0.
Sorry for
I'm
rushing
tickling
that.
myself, yeah.
The next item is Director of Business and Operation. We need a motion to hire Vincent Mensa as our Director of Finance, Business and Operations.
Madam Chair, I move that the Board of Education accept the employment of Vincent Mensa. Is that correct? Did I get your last name right? Okay. As Director of Business and Operations for Romulus Community Schools effective April 22nd, 2014. And this is to fill the vacancy due to the resignation of Sherry Papazoglu.
Support with questions.
Moved by Ms. Buckley, supported by Mr. Kuderick. Questions? Go ahead, Mr. Kuderick.
I know the superintendent may not know the answer, so I'm gonna kind of, if you don't mind, I'm gonna refer these to Ms. Peck. In the contract here, I was looking for this position, and all the parameters that the Board of Education set out in December, we adhered to, correct?
Yes, that is
Okay.
correct.
Okay, great. Okay, that was the only question I had.
I'm good. I got my questions.
Were there any other additional questions? Okay. All right, so we have a motion on the floor. Should I do roll call, or
Really?
I think we're good?
Yeah, I think we'll
You know,
know.
for the record.
Let's slow it down, let's do roll call.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Welcome, Mr. Mensa.
This is your chair right
Mr.
here.
Yes.
I mean, I know it's not the time to.
No, go
But,
ahead.
for the, citizens, Mr. Minso, could you, please get up and tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your.
Well, he can actually do it right there, the microphone.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
you can do it right
microphone
there.
right there.
Could you please sit down and
We have a question from the floor for an introduction of our new business operations finance person handling the money. Yes,
Operations, yes.
Mr. Mensa.
Okay, I can introduce myself. The name is Vincent Mensa. I have an extensive background in financial management. I started with a degree in accounting. After that, I worked in retail briefly. Then I went over to manufacturing as an accountant. Then I went to obtain an MBA. That's Master in Business Administration. After that, I went back to manufacturing as an assistant financial controller. Then I came over to the U.S. and got a graduate degree in economics and finance. While I was working on my MBA, I also qualified as a certified accountant in the UK. So when I came over and I finished my graduate degree in economics, I worked briefly in academia for a short time. Then I decided to join the state of Michigan, and I worked at various, about 3 or 4 state of Michigan agencies in financial management and business services. Then after almost 2 decades, I changed over into the college, higher education finance. And I worked for Lansing Community College as the college budget director. Then I went over to West Virginia University at Parkersburg, where I was the chief financial officer. This is my next position after that. So that's a brief story of my background.
Thank you. Welcome.
And I did ask him if he was ready to give a report to me, and he said
No.
You did pretty good right there.
He's gonna have that all set, and all of our money issues will be gone.
Yeah, so he's gonna take care of all that deficit?
Right.
Okay, great.
But he knows what he's coming into, and
That's the important part. Okay.
so we do welcome him. The next item that we need is a motion for the summer, to the city, the annual, single tap collection.
I need a motion.
Madam Chair, I move that the Board of Education enter into an annual summer tax collection agreement with the City of Romulus as presented.
Support.
Any questions?
Yeah, I got just a couple comments, really not questions. I mean, I just want to make sure that we are communicating with the city, and information is going to be going out into the residents' tax bills. And there is no increase in the tax, what they'll pay, other than annually what it goes up from the states. But basically, it's just going to be collected one time a year versus split up over 2 years. And this
Once
is
a
not
year.
taking effect
Once a
until next year, 2015.
Yes,
January?
July.
July, I was gonna say that, but, okay, so we're giving the residents about 14 months at least to
Yeah.
prepare and hopefully get the information, so.
Right.
And we're doing what we can with the schools, we're getting information out, hopefully, maybe at the end of the year, newsletters that go out in the elementary schools, so maybe we can have the
Yeah.
principals get
We
comment
have-
in there.
We have a full marketing plan of how we're going to communicate this, working with the city, as well as through our internal resources, as well as through our PR marketing company, because we want to make sure that all residents of Romulus know that this is coming in the advanced time that you've set up for them.
And we're
Great.
also doing some things with the city treasurer as well. So
In the
she's
bills.
asking questions of mortgage companies to
Yes.
how is it best to notify for the mortgage escrows that happen. And so
We're trying to find out if we can share this with the mortgage companies, if they'll turn around and share it with the residents of Romulus too. We're trying to dig in as deep as we can.
okay.
And this is only for school taxes, so not all the
Not
taxes.
the whole city tax.
Right.
So
And a lot of
everybody
districts
understands.
already do this, so.
And it's just the Romulus, not the county portion. Is that?
It's just our school taxes.
Just Romulus schools.
Just our-
And just
Romulus.
another tad bit of information, the reason we're doing this is to actually give more money back into the school district quicker, so we don't have to borrow money and spend money for the interest on the money that we have to borrow to make payments. So it's really saving the district money by doing this. I know it's gonna be a little rough probably for some people at first, but financially wise, it's the best thing to do, because we're gonna get the money when we don't have them state aid payments, and that's gonna help us so we don't have to borrow the money. And that's actually saving the district money.
Thank you. Thanks for reminding us. Okay, so we have a motion on the floor for the summer tax collection resolution to be collected in 2015 of the summer.
I think this one's gotta be roll call, doesn't it?
Yes,
Probably
please.
should be.
Roll
Mr.
call.
Mr. Cooterick?
Yes.
Ms. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Buckley votes yes. Ms. Funderburk?
Yes. Motion carries 4-0.
The next item is the job descriptions that, you asked for and the reorganization of the business office.
Okay.
Okay. So, again, explain to me how this all works, can you please, with these, the responsibilities and, we talked about it.
Right.
with-
The responsibilities that are listed here for this position, and what really it's doing is eliminating the head bookkeeper, but yet those jobs will be dispersed to others in the finance department. So, we're utilizing our employees to the max and, making sure that our grants for our Title I, our 31A, and that money is spent, and we're on top of the finance of the grants.
Okay.
And this
And this-
takes, go ahead, I'm sorry, you go ahead.
And this was one of our issues we had of not having the grant money spent properly.
Supervised
Yeah,
very well.
supervised.
Because we had a curriculum director and grant, which they did the writing of the grants and all of that, but supervising the funding and the spending of those funds
The money part.
was very, it wasn't always done in a timely manner,
Okay.
as indicated in our finance review.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, and Ms. Peck just reminded me that to pay the part of the salary, we can use the grant money to pay this position. Whereas if we just kept it as the bookkeeper, the funds could not be used.
Okay.
Do you happen to know what proportion, like percentage-wise?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Can you get that for us, Margie, and kind of
Percentage
send
of
it, yeah,
that we could
Yeah.
use
yeah, and
that
just
funding
kind of
for.
send it to us.
I know that
please.
out of the whole grants, there's like 10% that can be used for,
Indirect costs.
indirect
Okay.
costs.
Right.
But that's
Okay.
out of the total amount, so I'm not sure how much of the salary that would pay.
When I first looked through the grants, as far as how much could, of the grants, when, just my cursory look through them, it looked like we could take about $14,000 and apply to this. Now, I haven't had the luxury yet of going through that with Mr. Mensa to make sure that I'm not missing something. So
Okay,
that's kind of where where we're at with it right now.
okay.
And this is kind of meshing together a few different responsibilities, because I know we talked about the
Bookkeeper, right?
the bookkeeper, but then we also spoke about the curriculum grants secretary and some of the administrative duties that that person holds, and how some of that can shift over to the superintendent secretary.
What we're planning on, we're not going to replace that curriculum support person.
Okay.
So that position, which was, when we last had that position, it was about a $48,000 position with benefits. We're not gonna have replaced that position at all. We haven't replaced it here in the last couple of years, but being able to reconfigure this will allow us to take many of those job responsibilities and push them into those two functioning areas. And then we'll be able to cover everything that we need, with the exception of the curricular leadership, which we still, are in need of, from a director position.
Okay, so what do you guys need something from us tonight? Or just,
This is,
What do you
we're
need?
still like in FYI mode.
so
or-
we're just,
No, I think we need direction, not a motion or anything, but direction. Do we want to continue? Do we want to utilize our people by going with this, or putting back in the bookkeeper? Because we will be configuring it, reconfiguring.
Real quick, this particular position will be part of the central office group?
Great.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
this is a manager position.
Okay, Rebecca, I'm really visual, okay? So, can you do like a work thing for me? Okay, this is Mr. Mensa, right?
Yep.
And then the next person is what?
Would be this position.
This director of
But she would be split between the two.
the, wait a minute.
This is the accounting and grants.
Okay, I'm looking at it, okay, so
Yep.
that would be that person,
Yeah.
okay? And
Now,
then-
now feeding into that, there's gonna be that curriculum director is gonna be giving that person direction as well as the director of finance,
Okay,
okay? Then that person will be directly supervising the day-to-day operations of our payroll, benefits, accounting, accounts payable, direct, and when I say directly supervising, Dr. Mensa,
Well, it doesn't matter.
Dr. Mensa will continue to supervise all of them. He'll be ultimately responsible for all of them. But this position would supervise the day-to-day activities in that business office to make sure that we're not dropping any ball along the way. Everything is being picked up and carried and moved.
okay.
Along with the curriculum director and grants person. I mean,
Right.
she's gonna have two people, really, so what we're doing is spreading out the knowledge so that everybody has bits and pieces of it.
And, well, part of HR will be feeding into that too, though, correct?
Part of HR always feeds into the payroll and benefits. That's
Okay.
kind of, there's a dotted line between HR and payroll and benefits as well.
Okay. Okay, and we're talking 52 to 55,000 a year.
All right.
What we're hoping to build in the business office, given our financial situation, and we need depth. We need as much accounting and business background depth as we can possibly manage in that business office. We need as much as possible so that we can use all of our resources. You know, as many people as we can have formally trained in accounting and finance is only going to make sure that we're doing what we need to do as a district to stay financially solvent. As you know from going through this deficit elimination plan and the whole process that led us up to this, school finance is an extremely complicated process now. It used to be a lot easier. The state sent you money and you spent the money the way you wanted to. The game has completely changed now over the last 10 years.
So as far as like the different interpretations of the grants that we receive, will that interpretation be pretty much the sole responsibility of the curriculum grants director, or will that be a shared responsibility between them and the business director?
The finance part probably would be with.
Always.
Always with the business,
Okay.
but the other part of doing the grants and all of that would
Okay.
fall on the curriculum.
So,
Correct.
okay.
So
And
it's
it-
like, there's no one group that's gonna work in isolation any longer. We can't work in isolation. We have to work together as a team.
Okay. Okay.
I think I got it.
And any additional questions, anybody?
No, I don't have any.
We asked them to come up with different ways to try to save money, and be creative and trying to figure out how to better operate the business operations of the board office. So I would think this would be a step in that direction.
And you said this is projected to save approximately 25,000. I think that was the number that I remember.
It'll probably be more in
Right.
the long run, but that's a basic ballpark figure.
Okay.
Okay, I'm assuming that it will be a lot more because we won't need that other support from the curriculum and grants person,
Okay.
you know, and that was 48 plus
Right.
whatever.
Oh, okay, because that's a position we're not filling. Okay.
So do you need to have a formal vote from us?
No, I
In
don't think we
regards
need
to-
a formal vote. I just
just
think that we
direction.
need
Okay.
just direction, then it's fine to move this way or.
What HR needs to do is we need to get cracking on staffing.
Right.
So we need to fill whatever the open position is, we need to fill it.
And when are you projecting having this filled? Well, I guess posting, and do you have a timeline yet
My
in
hope
regards
was
to that?
my hope was to post tomorrow.
Okay.
And we will be posting for the two positions? One position.
Just the one, is the accounting and grants manager.
Depends on, yeah. what
But
the-
it
the
really
pleasure
kind
of
of
the board
depends
is
what
right
we
now.
do tonight.
Okay.
Does it stay status quo, how we've been doing it, or are we talking about changing it this evening? So that's kind of what they're asking. So I guess I need to go around and ask how everyone feels. I mean, so I'll put myself on the spot and
I can already put mine out there.
we've been charging the administration to find ways to save us money, and, you know, restructuring is one of those ways of doing it. On one hand, we are losing a local 64 secretary, but on the other hand, we're saving, you know, close to $25,000. So, I don't know, I feel like I'm still being pigeonholed and with my arm twisted behind my back by the state of Michigan, so I say go ahead.
I think I stated mine already, did I? I
don't
did,
know.
didn't I? Yeah, I'm good.
And I guess that ultimately, Dr. Menza is the one that has the expertise in this field, and if he feels that that would be the sufficient way to go, then I would say then that's what we should support.
Mr. Cooter?
The only concern I got is the salary level. I'd like to see it a little bit lower to start out with, especially considering where we're at in the district. I think it should be a little bit lower. It may offend some people, but, I mean, everybody's got a, should be a little lower with all the, everything else that comes into play.
My only thing is that,
Could I? go
okay,
ahead.
only thing I was saying, and I see what you're saying, Tom, but if we're saving money, because, you know, you put it
I-
out there, you got it, you get what you
I agree.
pay for.
I agree, but I
So,
think-
you know, you need to give people with expertise and knowledge, you need to offer them, I mean, I didn't think that was really out of the ballpark of what we should offer, but, you know, everybody has their own way, that's just my opinion.
So are you talking 50,000, or what are
I'd
you
say
looking
between
at?
50 and 53 maybe is where I'd look at.
Okay, so are you kind of just basing that on what?
I mean, it's gotta just kinda cutting it down a little bit. That's what we need to do, so, but, I mean, that's my opinion of it, so.
Go ahead.
Do you mind if I
No,
speak to that? Just
yeah.
because I wanted the board to know that I did a lot of research as far as this type of position, what the duties and responsibilities are, the expectation. This posting that we have, this dollar amount, is about 10 to 12% below the going rate or the market value for this position.
Who
So I-
has these positions currently in districts?
There's lots of school districts. I'll have to go back and look, because that's who I used as my determiner.
If you
I
can,
get
if you
that
can
for
just
you.
email me the districts that you had, so I can,
Be a little at
You know.
ease.
Yeah.
Could you just blanket send it to all of us? Thank you.
Tom, that's kind of what I was, because I had looked at it prior to, and I kind of did a little research, and I kind of knew what was out there, so I didn't
Okay.
think it was like way out.
And I get
Of the
nervous dropping
ballpark.
a little more
Right.
below that, because then we won't get the candidates that we.
Yeah, you don't wanna, I'm kinda like you get what you pay for, so.
you're right, I agree
Yeah.
with you, but
Yeah, but I understand too that we're trying to save money and not,
I thought that salary to me was saving money.
Yeah.
I mean, I just kind of know what was out there,
Right.
And knowing the
Just being in
responsibilities that you're taking on too.
well, and that was my next question I was kinda thinking about was in comparison to, the two kind of being meshed together and percentage-wise, I mean, how much of more responsibilities is this person consuming as opposed to, you know, what they've already been doing?
Right.
So that was kind of, you know, in my head, how much more work are they actually gonna be doing in comparison to if the job kinda stays the same?
Right.
Okay. All right, so are we comfortable in moving forward? Sounds like. All right, so,
Get that information from
the
Tom, so he's
information
okay.
for the, where you got your salary from.
So
Salary
should that be
information.
provided to you prior to us moving forward, or?
No, as long as you got the backup and
Okay.
supply me the backup, I'm good with it. But if I don't get the backup, then no, I'm not good with it.
Okay.
I just want to see how you came up with the numbers.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so we're moving forward with information to the rest of the board.
Thank you. And I think that ends my report.
What about the
Survey.
RFP?
Oh, our food service RFP.
Okay. I asked Superintendent McAnally to put this on the agenda, just so that everybody knew at the table that we're gonna be coming to you at the 5/12 meeting. May 12th, right?
May 12th,
May
yes.
12th. The bid, the RFP for food services closes next week. So we are going to be, Dr. Menzel, and I will be working very hard at doing a bid analysis of all of the vendors that have put forth proposals for the food services.
He's got his work cut out for him already.
Because this is because MDE is involved in this, because it's the free and reduced lunch program, it's, we're kind of at the mercy of their timeline. So we're gonna be asking you to take action on this at the next meeting. If the board can't take action at that point, we're gonna have to have a special meeting.
Okay.
And I just kind of put some notes on here, by June 2nd, no later than June 2nd. Otherwise, I won't have enough time to get it to the state for them to do their work on it, so that,
When do we have to have it submitted?
no later than June 2nd.
So we're going to be making a motion on May 12th, you said?
I'm going to be bringing a recommendation, the superintendent will be bringing a recommendation to you on May 12th,
So what day are we going to vote on? The 12th or?
on the 12th.
Okay. Can we get that information hopefully sooner so
Before.
we
I'm
can
gonna,
kind
as soon as we possibly can.
It might
Yeah.
not be with the packet, we'll send it earlier. Would that be?
yeah,
Right.
send an
Right.
email
Great. As soon
earlier.
as
That way, maybe
Right.
just put that as an own email so that way everybody will open it up.
Right.
Hopefully we can get it by next week.
Well, we have to have some time to go through it. The bid doesn't actually close until next Wednesday.
Kind of pushing the time there.
I know.
Because you really
Wednesday's
can't
what
do
the-
it. You can't do a special meeting too many days because
We're busy
We've
with
you got
got
our
holidays, you
service.
got superintendent
Superintendent search.
interviews and all that
We're
stuff in
running
there.
out of
We got a
days.
meeting Monday, right?
No, I'm sorry, the RFP closes this Tuesday, or
Okay.
this Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'm a week off here from our
Okay.
vacation.
So it closes the 30th.
On the
Oh, okay.
30th.
So we should be able to, you think we possibly can get it somewhere between the 5th and the 9th?
By the 9th.
Okay,
I'm gonna commit to the 9th.
okay. Well, that way we
So
But I'll
it'll give
try
us
and
at
get
least
it-
the weekend.
But I'll try
to-
and get it to you earlier so that we're here, you can call if you have
Well,
any
if
questions.
you get it by the 8th, they will give us the 9th to ask
Right,
questions. So that
right.
way you're not scrambling just on the last
Right.
day of the board meeting.
Yeah, because I know with the, like when we did the RFPs for transportation and stuff, we were able to actually come in and look at everything.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so that's, all right, so we are at the portion of our agenda for communications and expressions from the public. We're moving right along. Hot dog. Okay. Okay, nobody has any, so, next on the agenda is questions and/or concerns of board members. And I will start at my favorite place at the end of the table, Mr. Frederick.
Okay, I got a couple here. Actually, I want to thank Miss Maxey's class over there. They sent me a big old packet of very colorful thank you notes for cooking pancakes again. And when I get the opportunity, I'll go through and look at the rest of them. But thank you very much, and you're welcome. Couple things. The TV commercials. I've seen the one with the mom for the middle school. Very nice.
I haven't
The
seen
father.
it. Where'd you see it, Tom?
on
What-
TV.
What channel?
Yes.
TBS?
Yeah, yeah, they're on there, and they're usually towards the evening when you're probably sitting down and relaxing. They're not too bad. I seen the one with the father dad going into school and the mom. They're focusing on the middle school. Question is, are we going to be hitting K through 5, and are we going to be hitting high school, maybe trying to get into the career tech fields or anything like that? Is that some of the plan, or are we just focusing on the middle school for them commercials?
Right now, for the middle school, we're gonna continue this, we hope, in the fall, and that'll be our focus for K.
Well, it'd be nice to kind of, like, if it's possible, to try to get one, especially with the career tech classes, maybe get health ops, get culinary arts, some of the things, something Chef Banks does back there. I mean, a lot of them different things, maybe get to the AP classes, maybe they're doing the testing, stuff like that, and kind of highlight some of that stuff. That would, I think, because not everybody is gonna go to a traditional college. The billboards, they're all around town. They're up, nothing's falling off them, that's great. I mean, they look good, I mean, they look good up there. They've got that unique look that seems to be catching a lot of students' eye, that kind of distressed look is how they put it up there, so it's a new fad of, what people look for. And also, I'd like to thank the board members themselves. They're also gonna sponsor a golf hole at the Rotary golf outing, which also helps raise money for scholarships the district has. And by the Board of Education doing this, we've challenged the city council to do it. So, and then interim superintendent, she's sponsored a hole, and I understand she's passed the word to central office and the principals. So, as a board member, appreciate it, and as a Rotarian, I really appreciate it, because we give them dictionaries out to all the third graders every year, and the scholarships, there's a lot of students that have gotten them, and it's a pretty good thing. It's great.
Thank you, Mr. Cooter. Mr. Crab?
I'd like to remind everyone that tomorrow is the Student of the Month at the high school at 6 o'clock. And Thursday at 6 o'clock is the band scholarship fundraiser. It's a spaghetti dinner at the high school. And the cost is $7.
What time? 6 p.m., right?
6.
6 p.m.
Buckley? Nothing for me, thanks.
Okay. All right, so I just wanted to give some reminder dates for the board members. We have some important special meetings coming up. The first one is on May 5th, which is our screening for the superintendent applicants. On May 8th, we have parent-teacher conferences. That's important for me. Then the band boosters are having a bake sale as well. On May 10th, there is the Romulus Middle School 5K Run-a-thon.
Saturday,
That's Saturday.
May
I
3rd,
have-
it's this month.
Is it this weekend?
Because I had the
Oh,
10th,
man, I had the
I
10th.
thought it was next weekend, actually.
May 2. We had something that was, I thought
I
the paper
thought it-
said the 10th.
So we will have to double
The
check.
poster on the door at the middle school says May 3rd.
Are you serious? Huh?
But I think, you know what, the flyer I got said the 10th, 'cause
I got the 10th too.
I have the 10th.
I think it was changed to the 3rd.
Well,
So
then,
we think that there has been a change.
I think there's been a change.
So as we confirm that, yeah.
well, it doesn't really matter what I got if it's not the
May 3rd. It is May 3rd.
This poster said the 3rd.
Oh, boy.
I could,
So I won't be able to be. Okay. Okay, so the next thing is we have a May 12th, school board meeting, which is regular. May 20th, well, let me go back. May 1st is the Association Awards Dinner. May 15th is the
High school.
Romulus High School Senior Awards Banquet. That starts at 6.
What day is that?
It's on Thursday, May 15th.
don't be late, get a good seat.
Wayne County Association of School Boards also has like a general meeting that same day. Man,
And unfortunately, that's Hale Creek's science fair too, isn't it,
Yeah.
that night?
May's pretty chock full of activities. Yeah.
Any way they
May-
can leave them up for the Friday, we can come by and take a look at them over there?
Okay.
Okay. The 8th?
Be nice if you do.
So so May 15th, the Hell Creek has a science fair as well?
Yes.
All right. Board members, May 20th, we have a special meeting for superintendent interviews. And then, day 2, if needed, is May 22nd. And May 29th, if needed, is the second superintendent interview. So just kind of depends how the flow goes with our search. And so that's pretty much it for the month of May. I don't know, got some important events coming up in June. June 4th is prom toast. The 7th is the senior graduation. June 5th is community high school. Man, it seems like it's right around the corner. Then our last day of school for our students is June 12th.
Do we have an extended school year because of the snow?
It doesn't look like it. The Governor Snyder signed some legislation right before we went on break. I just have to get some clarification on the number of hours. Seems a little murky right now. Not sure
Well,
if they're
it
gonna hold
comes
us.
from Schneider, it's pretty murky.
I know. The way it's written, it looks like, the way it's written, that you still have to meet the 1,098 hours, but you don't have to do the 180 days. But there's no way that we have 180 days and 1,098 hours programmed. So I'll get some clarification on that.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
So if we have to, we're gonna extend it past the 12th?
Yeah.
Probably gonna have.
We need to, we really
Right
need to
now,
get
I
that,
think we're good.
we need to get that clarified as quick as possible.
Well, I have an
because-
email out.
That
We
way
sent an
we can,
email out today, yeah.
Because parents are out there wanting to make plans and,
Right. Right.
you know.
A lot of parents have already made
Yeah,
plans.
some parents are already gone.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
That's right.
So that's what I have. And is there anything else? Anybody? Anyone? Okay.
Make a
well,
motion to adjourn?
Motion by Mr. Kudery,
Support.
supported by Ms. Kraut to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Where do you want
Motion
these, where do you
carries.
want these at? Who wanted these?
I'll go back to the middle school here.
6:42 PM.
Are we sending them to you